Welcome to another edition of Florida NewsMakers. I'm Trimmel Gomes with our very special guest, Mary Ellen Klas, the
Hi.
Bureau Chief of the Miami Herald Capitol Bureau. Welcome to the program.
Hi, thank you.
Well, let's jump right into it. It's going to be a busy election year, and getting things off to a spicy start is the governor's race. We have Governor Rick Scott and newly minted Democratic challenger Charlie Crist, who's coming in here. Where do things stand now?
Well, it's been an interesting week. We've had a couple of things emerge. We had Bill Nelson, the U.S. Senator, who's obviously the top of the party, the highest ranking officer in the party, kind of acknowledging that he's not interested in running for governor, but he's not ruling it out, and the first time he's personally said that. We also have a new poll out by Quinnipiac University that shows that if the election were held today, Charlie Crist would defeat Governor Scott by about 7 percentage points. And that's interesting because it looks as though Crist is holding a lead he had when they asked the question in March, but the gap is really narrowing among the independent voters who are. So I think some of the negative advertising that the Republican Party and the governor have been doing is working. People are having less of a favorable opinion of Charlie Crist.
Even in that poll, there was also the marijuana amendment and what that would mean coming up if that gets approval. What were the findings there?
Yeah, I was very surprised by that. The poll showed that when it comes to medical marijuana, 80% of the electorate is supportive of it. And it crosses every party, every gender, every race, every everything, and age, which is really surprising. So that means that if it gets on the ballot, it's likely to pass. And I think it has some questions also about the Attorney General and Republican legislative leaders who are trying to make sure that it doesn't get on the ballot, and they've are working pretty aggressively at filing this lawsuit challenging it. So we'll see.
We'll see how it goes. But back to the governor's race, and former State Senator Nan Rich, she's still maintaining her campaign. And as you hinted on, Bill Nelson even shaking things up. What does that do for the dynamics? And will donors throw their money at Charlie Crist or hold back?
Well, it is interesting. I mean, Nan Rich has been in the race for a long time, and she has not raised very much money. Charlie Crist was in the race all of about 2 weeks, and he'd raised over $800,000. The big question is, how much is he going to raise at the end of the month? We now have 1-month reporting cycles, and if he's raising a lot, I think that will discourage Nan from continuing. And it may encourage Bill Nelson that he has less to worry about, and he may leave Charlie Crist alone. So we'll wait and see. But I think that this month's report will be really interesting.
All right. Now let's go to the special election for late Republican Bill Young, his congressional seat. The race is going on for that. We have Alex Sink, a Democrat, former chief financial officer, who's out there, and we have some new challengers. What's going on in that race?
Well, it's going to be a Republican primary. There is a new state representative, Kathleen Peters, who's a former mayor in Pinellas County, and she is running as a Republican in the race against the former chief of staff for Bill Young, David Jolly. So that will be an interesting dynamic. We're going to have a quick turnaround. We've got Alex Sink with tremendous name recognition, 2 other challengers on the Republican side with almost very little name recognition. So that's going to be another interesting hotspot.
Always interesting in Florida. Congressman Trey Radel. And what's the fallout from his pleading guilty for a misdemeanor charge of possessing cocaine?
Well, he pled guilty this week, as many people have seen, and on the same day, he then said he's going into rehab. And he has not resigned, and I think that is raising a lot of questions. He was a Tea Party candidate. He had his very short 10-month time in office. He voted for things like allowing states to have mandatory drug testing of welfare recipients. That kind of questions and sort of that, is there a little sense of hypocrisy here with this congressman? That may work against him, and I think there's a lot of people saying he should leave office and open the seat for new candidates in 2014. He has chosen not to, so we'll see. He may just get some challengers, and if that happens, we'll have some more There's people being named, his former opponents, Chauncey Goss. Connie Mack is, rumored to maybe come back to the seat since he was replacing him. And there's talk that maybe State Senator Elizabeth Benaquisto may run as well. So we'll see.
Right. Now, we're bracing for a busy year. How much impact will election year politics have on the lives of everyday Floridians? What are we in for?
I think it's going to have a lot on the impact of the lives of Capitol reporters, but as far as the average Floridians, probably not much. They'll probably start seeing some TV ads in the governor's race. However, it's going to overshadow everything that happens in Tallahassee. I expect the legislative session to be overshadowed by election year politics. Same with everything the governor does. So, when it comes to Tallahassee, it's a big deal. As for the rest of the state, not so much yet.
Well, thank you so much, Mary Ellen Klas, for joining me here on our program. And to our viewers, we'll catch you next time.